Hi there, welcome to class. How are you today, Sultan and Mishari?
I'm great. What about you?
I'm also okay. Thank
Oh,
you very much for asking. Mishari, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you,
Uh,
sir?
well, I'm also okay. So just suppose we started the class now. Okay, so today we are learning about IELTS speaking. Okay, the first unit today, we will learn everything. For example, in this unit, you will hear what happens in the test and look at the procedure of part one of the test, be introduced to some typical topics for part one and watch a test taker. Look at the procedure of part two of the test and watch a test taker, and look at solutions to common problems in part two. Look at the procedure of part three of the test and watch, analyze the part three answer, and review the complete test. So that's what we are going to be doing today. In fact, that's the procedure for the class. That's what we're going to be doing today in the class. Right. So before we move ahead, I need to introduce the first part here. So in this exercise, you will find out all about the speaking test. Okay. Watch the video and decide if the statements on the right are true or false. So after you watch the video, you will answer these questions. Okay. So
Okay,
before we watch the video, can you read these questions?
okay. The speaking test lasts
Yeah.
between 11 and 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Okay.
There are four parts to the test.
Yeah.
You take the test with another test taker. Part one of the test consists of a question on everyday topic.
Okay.
In part two, the long term, you need to speak for up to 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You choose the topic you want to speak about in part two.
Mm-hmm.
You have exactly 1 minute to prepare and make a note for your talk in part two.
Well, make notes. Okay. You
Make
can make,
notes.
yeah.
The examiner will interrupt you and ask you a question during your long term.
Yeah. Sultan, can you read the other questions?
The examiner will ask you one or two questions at the end of your long term.
Mm-hmm.
Part three of the speaking test is discussion with the examiner related to the topic in part two.
Yeah, great. So now we would like to watch the video. And after we watch the video, I'd like you to answer these questions. Okay. So it's a 2 minute, in fact, a 3 minute video. Let's watch it together.
Hi everyone, my name's James Matthews and I'm an English language teacher at the British Council in Hong Kong. Well, the speaking test is a one-to-one interview between an examiner and the candidate. The interview lasts between 11 and 14 minutes. The exam itself is divided into 3 parts, a similar length in time, between 4 to 5 minutes. The first part is the examiner introduction and also the candidate introduction. They are general questions to the candidate about some personal experiences and general life, hobbies, things like that. The second part moves into a 2-minute long turn where the candidate aims to speak for up to 2 minutes uninterrupted on a topic or a subject that has been given to them by the examiner. The candidate is then given exactly 1 minute to prepare and to make notes on that topic. They're given pencil and a paper to write down short notes, and then they are asked to speak for up to 2 minutes. During that 2 minutes, the examiner will not interrupt and will not ask any questions, will simply sit back and listen. So at the end of the 2 minutes, or if the candidate has finished earlier, the examiner will ask 1 or 2 rounding off questions before the examiner moves into part 3. Part 3 is a more open-ended discussion between the candidate and the examiner. It's on questions that are related to the topic and subject of the long turn in part 2.
So now let's discuss the questions that we see here. Right. So can you answer, Mishari, can you answer the questions first? The speaking test lasts between 11 and 14 minutes. Is it true? Yes, it is true.
True.
And there are 4 parts to the test.
True.
Okay, it is false,
True,
basically.
yes.
Yeah, 3. You take the test with another test taker.
False.
False. Okay, part 1 of the test consists of questions on everyday topics. Number 4. Yes, it is true. Okay, there are everyday topics in part 1.
Can I answer or
And
just reply?
sorry, Sultan.
Can I answer or
Yeah,
only
sure.
Sami?
Yeah, no, not you, Mishari only. You can also answer. Yes, Sultan, can you answer the other questions? 5, 6, 7, 8.
In part 2, the long turn, you need to speak up to 2 minutes. True.
Okay.
You
And
choose the topic you want to speak about in part 2. False.
False.
You have exactly 1 minute to prepare and make notes for your talk in part 2. Yeah, true. The examiner will interrupt you and ask you a question during your long turn. False. The examiner will ask you 1 or 2 questions at the end of your long turn. False. Part 3 of the speaking test is discussion with the examiner related in topic in part 2. True.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so basically, the examiner will ask you 1 or 2 questions at the end of your long turn. Yes, it is true. There will be a short question. Okay, the examiner will ask you 1 question at the end of part 2. So just to relate to your topic and maybe to ease you into the next part here. Okay. Great. So let's now move on to the next part. So let's see the marking here. Cancel. So marking, yes, all correct. So good job. Excellent. Right. Let's move on to the next part of the speaking examination. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can read the feedback. So click on the. We don't want to do that because all answers are correct. Now let's move on to the next part very quickly. Okay. Right. Okay, so in this exercise, you will focus on the initial stage of the test. How does the test begin? Watch and listen to the advice Sarah has for the start of the test. Put the advice in the order she gives here. Okay, in fact, I'll do this for you later. In fact, what I can do is I can share my control with you. You should be able to control the, okay, remote control, Sultan. Okay, Sultan, I gave you the screen, the remote control, so you can bring this down here. Okay, if you like.
Okay.
Can you control my screen? Just try to control it.
How is that possible?
Oh yes, you can do this. Good, good.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
what? Yeah, okay. Can you stop doing it because I need to do something before I can. Okay. Right now, okay. Can you click on this and you need to bring this down here like this, okay? One,
Okay,
two,
I'll try.
3, 4. Yeah. And then Vishari will do it. Right. So first let's watch the video. So as you watch the video, you can do this, but if you can't do it during the video, you can do it later after you finish the video. Okay. So let's watch the video first. Sultan, you will do it first for me, okay? Right, let's watch the video.
Okay.
It's really important that you know what to expect in the IELTS speaking test so that you can be really prepared for it. Okay, so despite it being an exam, try and smile when you go in and greet the examiner with a cheery good morning or whatever. Okay, then the examiner will ask you for your name. Do remember to give your full name. Then they will ask you where you come from. At this stage, just give the name of the country. You don't have to give any more information than that. Then the examiner will ask you for identification. Okay, it's really important that you remember to show the same identification, so national ID papers or the passport, as you did when you actually registered for the IELTS. It has to be identical. You also need to remember that the test is being recorded, so try and speak at a decent normal volume so that it can be heard on the recording, but also so the examiner can hear you clearly because they've got to hear you in order to assess you.
So now, Sultan, can you drag the statements, put the advice in order she gives? What's the first advice she gives?
This one.
Yeah, so drag it down. Can you bring it down?
I can't.
Oh, maybe because you are on an iPad. Okay, you can do it easily on the on a computer. Okay, so I'll do it for you. So give the examiner when you greet the examiner when you meet her for the first time. Okay, and then give the examiner your full name when
Yeah.
asked. Okay, so this is the second. Okay, so good. So any problem here is, so you will, when you see the examiner, greet the examiner. Greeting is hello, hi, good morning. Don't say hello, hi, how are you? That is very boring, and the examiner is not going to be impressed. So hello, hi, good morning. So that means you're a confident speaker of English and you love talking. So this will give a good impression. It's not part of the assessment criteria, but they will think they will take you more seriously, and maybe something happens for you magically. So yeah, let's leave this one and go to the next part here. Now this is part 1. So the first one is part 0. It's not counted towards your score, okay? But it's good to leave a good impression. First impression is the last impression. It is not true in IELTS, but it does have a good effect. And in fact, it has a good effect on your mood, at least. You are more confident, and you are confident, you have a good kind of impression about yourself, you speak better, perform better. Right, so in this exercise, you'll watch a test taker doing part 1 of the test and focus on the topics of the questions. Choose the correct answers here. Okay, so as you watch the video, can you keep typing the answers in the chat? So what is the topic of the first set of questions? Hobby studies. Just write A, B, C, D. Okay, and how many questions there? Just write A, B, C, D. So, right, for example, question 1, A, question 2, C, question 3, D, question 4, C. So write the question number and the answer as you watch the video. Let me check. So, Mishari, are you going to write the answer, or are you going to also write the question number?
What?
Are you writing the question number, or are you writing the answer only?
The answer.
No, also write the question number. Okay. For example, you can say 1A. Okay, like this. 1A,
Okay.
2B, 3C, like this. So I want you to write these answers for me. I'm just trying to, yes, deleting the answers because these are not the correct answers. You will just listen and choose the correct answer. So let's watch the video. And as you watch the video, write the answers to the questions in the chat. I'm closing my video.
Hello, please take a seat. My name is Ash Patel. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Hello, Mr. Ash. My name is Li Junchen,
Can you tell me where you're from?
China.
Can I see your identification, please?
Yes, here's my passport.
Thank you. That's fine. Now, I would like to ask you some general questions. Let's talk about what you do. Do you work or are you a student?
Actually, I'm studying Hong Kong University for program English.
How long have you been studying there?
Just 6 months till now. Actually, this is my first semester.
What do you like about studying there?
It's a nice place to study there. It's nice rooms, and my teachers are nice. I like my friends, and yeah, it's a good place, and I like it.
Is your university close to your home?
Yes, my home is in 5 minutes from the college.
How do you travel?
I travel bus. I go every day.
Now let's talk about food.
So, what is the topic of the first set of questions? Hobbies, studies, pets, holidays.
Studies.
Study.
B.
Right, B. So can you write 1B in the chat? Good. Now, I will not stop it. Let's continue watching it till the end.
What kind of food do you like to eat?
I like to eat dim sum. It's national food in this country
Why?
because it's very delicious and it's traditional.
What sorts of new food would you like to try?
I'm not sure about that, but maybe I would like to try some Mexican food, like fajita.
Why?
I'm interested in Mexican food because I like the spicy, and I'm interested with these national dishes, and some friends talk about it, and so I'm interested in try this dish.
And do you cook for yourself?
Actually, not too much. I actually just like to eat. Cooking, I'm not good, and my mother is good. I'm not cooking.
Why not?
I don't like. I don't know how to cook, and I didn't like to cooking.
Do you prefer eating at home or in restaurants?
Actually, I prefer my mom cooking because it's great cooker, and there's a benefit at home. But sometimes I don't have someone to cook, so I just eat food in restaurant.
What type of restaurants do you like?
Usually I like pizzas, burgers, and noodles. Lots of food like that.
Now let's talk about friends. What do you like to do with your friends?
Usually going to cinema and watch together film and sometimes have dinner.
Why?
Because we have good time and we laugh, we talk a lot.
Have you kept in contact with friends you had as a child?
Not really, because we have a lot of chance to get on with new friends in their lives, so no.
Why not?
Because I come from Shenzhen and now I live in Hong Kong and university in Hong Kong. So I have chance to make lots of friends and I enjoy very much.
How do you usually communicate with your friends?
It depends. Some I see every day in class or library, so speak to each other. And friends not in Hong Kong, I text my phone and or use online.
What do you think a good friend is?
I think support each other. Like I feel sad and my friends helps me and ask if I okay or not.
Hello.
All right, so hopefully then you were able to get some of the answers. I think I saw, oh, you got just one answer to this question, but can we now go over the answers one more time? So how many questions are there in this set? Studies, for example, how many questions did the examiner ask you?
5.
5.
B.
Okay. And number 3, what is the topic of the second set of questions?
Seafood.
Food. Okay. How many questions does the examiner ask? How many times does the examiner ask why and why not in this set?
3
6.
times.
Oh, 3 times. Okay. So what is the topic of the third set of questions?
Friends.
Friends.
And which of these is the better answer to the question? What kind of food do
C.
you like?
C.
Okay. Good. The food, Thai food because it's spicy. Okay. And which of these groups of topics will you not be asked about in the first part?
A.
Yeah. Okay. And which of the following pieces of information about the first part of the test is wrong? The first set of questions will be about your work, studies, or your home or hometown. You will be asked 2 more sets of questions on 2 different topics. And there are about 4 questions about each topic, and you should try to give short answers to the questions.
The
So
last
which,
one.
yeah, which of the following piece of information about the first part of the test is wrong?
D.
The first set of questions, okay,
D.
you should try to give short answers to the question. This is wrong, okay? And there are about 4 questions about each topic, and you will be asked 2 more sets of questions on 2 different topics. Okay, so you think which one is wrong, A, B, C, or D?
D.
D is wrong. Okay. Right, now let's check. We will check, okay, and find out the answers. Okay, right. So how many questions are there on this set? Okay, this is wrong. And yeah, oh, this is good. All correct except the last one. Now let's find out the reasons why our answers to some of the questions are wrong here. Okay, so let's move on to the next, but there is some feedback. So let's, yeah. Okay, so basically there are 4 questions that the examiner asks you about each of these topics here. Is this clear? Does it make sense? So this was part 1 of the examination. Okay, I can also see the feedback. So yeah, so there are usually 4 questions on each topic. So how many topics will the examiner ask you? How many topics will be in part 1 of the speaking examination?
3 topics.
3 topics, okay. How many questions?
For each topic.
Yeah, about 4 questions, okay. Sometimes 11, sometimes 12 questions. So yeah, that is what the examiners usually do. Good. Now let's move on to the next part 2. Let's understand part 2. So this was part 1 of the examination. Now let's understand part 2 of the examination. So as you watch the video, try to think about these answers. But before we watch the video, can you look at the part? Can you look at the text here and think about the possible answers? So in this part, the examiner will give you a dash or paper, and on that card there will be a topic. So can you read this silently? You don't need to read it loudly, but for 1 or 2 minutes, I want you to read it. Right. Can we play the video now? Are you ready to watch the video?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's watch the video. And as you watch the video, try to write the answers in the chat for this, okay? So let's watch the video.
Then in part 2, okay, in this part, the examiner will give you a card, and on the card there'll be a topic, and the examiner will ask you to talk about that topic for 2 minutes. And you'll also have 1 minute to prepare for the test. So what you need to do, they'll give you a piece of paper and a pencil, and you have 1 minute and you can make notes. It's really important you use that time wisely. Write down the key vocabulary so you don't forget it when you're getting a bit panicky. And also write down sort of like grammatical words. So if you're being asked to talk about a past holiday, a holiday you had when you were a child or something like that, write down little things like used to and ago and things like that, because that'll just remind you to stay using the past tense, which might be quite helpful. On the card, there'll be 3 bullet points. Okay, so let me give you an example. If the topic was describe a visit to a museum, you'll then have 3 bullet points. One will be something like, say where the museum is, say why you went there, and say what you liked. So those 3 things you must talk about. And there's also a 4th point where they say something like, and you should say whether you would recommend this museum to somebody or not. Okay, so there are 4 things you have to cover. So it's quite important you cover all of those 4 points. Remember also to read the card very carefully, because we all know what it's like in an exam. You're terribly panicky, you read it and you want to start talking and things like that, but take the time to read it carefully. One student doing a practice exam misread celebrity for celebrations and spoke for 2 minutes on the wrong topic. Fortunately, it was a practice test, so that was all right. The other thing is, people don't know this, but if there is a keyword, an important word on the topic card that you don't actually know, you don't understand what it means, you can ask the examiner to explain that word.
All right, now let's think about the answers. So can you both help me here? So in this part, the examiner will give you a dash or what?
Card.
Okay, a card or paper, and on that card there will be give you a topic or paper. Okay, the examiner will ask you to talk about that topic for
2 minutes.
2 minutes, 2 minutes or 1 minute. Okay. But talk about 2 minutes, good. You'll have dash minute to prepare.
1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute to prepare. You can make
Notes. keyword.
Okay. Think about words you can use for this topic. Also write down
Grammatical.
The tense of the word.
I don't okay. Grammatical words. Okay.
You mentioned grammatical.
Okay, grammatical words. If the topic is about something in the past, write down things like used to and ago to remind you to stay in the past. On the card, there will be
3.
three bullet points. You must talk about those three things. There's also a
4.
what point? Where they say something
Fourth.
like
4th point. 4.
okay, fourth point. Okay, the fourth point is taken is often asking you to give your opinion or recommendation or feelings about the topic. Remember also to read the card really
Careful.
carefully. Make sure to write about it, to talk about the topic on the card and not something else. Yeah, for example, if the topic is weather, don't talk about weddings. If the topic is say environment, don't talk about jet science. So the topic should be the same as on the card. So if there is keyword, an important word on the topic card that you don't actually know, you don't understand what it means, you can the examiner. You can ask the examiner. Let's see if you understood everything or understood nothing. Okay, I think yeah. So basically that was all right. So that's why the answers were not shown here. So yeah, you got it right. There was nothing wrong with that one. So you got it right perfectly. Now let's talk about the second. Let's think about the what makes a good part 2 answer. Let's understand the part 2 answers here. So an example is describe a hobby you enjoy doing. You should say what it is and where you do and whether you do it alone or with others, and say what is good or bad about this hobby. So this is a topic, okay, that is that might be asked in the end part 2. Okay, so now let's watch the video again and then try and understand what the video tells us. But before you watch the video, can you look at the questions? Right, so let's watch the video, and after we've watched it, we'll discuss the questions.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to give you a topic and I would like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. You will have 1 minute to prepare and you can write notes if you want. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Here is your card and some paper to write some notes. I would like you to describe a hobby that you enjoy doing. Can you start speaking now?
I have one hobby that I like very much, and it is good for me and also my friends. It is playing football. I like it too much. Play football is good hobby because you must to run and jump, and everything in your body is just moving. And after this, when you finish football, you will be happy and hungry. And you should be playing football with other people. So everybody will enjoy this way. But there is also a bad way about football if you have injury. Yeah, it is the bad thing about football. My friends and I play club in Hong Kong. It is very good club and we win lots. All my friends watch and that's good, we win. I also like watch football on TV. I like many clubs like Barcelona, Liverpool, PSG, but my favorite is Barcelona. I also play games, computer, and at home weekends I like too many computer games, and I also play friends. We play car and war games. I like too much computer games.
Thank you. Do you play football very often?
Yes, 1 time or 2 times all weeks.
Right. So let's discuss the questions. Can you discuss the questions now?
True. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
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 No.
No.
No. No.
Yes. Yes.
It doesn't. It doesn't interrupt him.
Does
Yes.
the
He asked
examiner
him
interrupt?
about. Yes. Yes. He just asked him how many times do you
After
play
he
football?
finished. After he finished.
After he finishes, okay? So during the talk, there is no interruption from the examiner.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's right. Let's check the answers. Okay, yes, 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 yes. Interrupt the speaker during his talk. No, he doesn't, okay? He doesn't. Okay, so actually this is because the long term consists of the test taker speaking uninterrupted for 2 minutes. The examiner will not respond verbally to anything you say and will not ask you questions. So they'll not say, yes, good job, excellent, you did a good job. They might say, They might just do this, but they will not say anything verbally. And they may not
Kind
even
of
smile.
cool.
Yeah, they may not even smile. They might be, maybe they were looking at you. Maybe they are not looking at you. Maybe they're looking away at the ceiling or so like this. You should be trained. That's why I'm asking you to record yourselves on Padlet, record yourself as much as possible to get the experience, to get used to no feedback from the examiner. So this was part 2. Okay, now let's proceed to part 3, the last part of the examination. This is how the last part of the examination will be. So same procedure. We would like to focus on the third part of the speaking test. I'd like you to watch the video of Sarah describing part 3 of the test and giving some advice. Complete the text with the words and phrases in the box here. So before you watch the video, can you look at this? Right, so now let's watch the video to understand this part.
Okay, and then we move on to the third part of the test. And in this part, the examiner is going to ask you questions sort of vaguely following on from the topic of the second part. But whereas the first 2 parts were sort of quite concrete and about you and your experiences and things like that, this third part becomes more abstract, a bit more academic, if you like. So the questions will increase in the level of difficulty as you go through this third part. But the idea is that it gives you an opportunity to really shine and show just how good your English is. In this part, you'll be expected to support what you say to give examples, to make comparisons very often, to say what happened in the past and what's happening now, and then perhaps to speculate about what could happen in the future. The idea is that you can use a range of tenses and, as I say, show really how good your English is. And remember again that if you don't understand a word in the question, because the questions are not going to be as logical, or you can't predict them in the same way you possibly could in part one, again, you can ask the examiner to explain a specific word. But again, the advice is not to do this too often, to try and work out the meaning. And again, if you're totally stuck and you really can't answer the question, you've not thought about the topic before, just be honest. Say, I'm terribly sorry, I haven't really thought about that, I don't really have an answer. Because at least A, you've said something, and B, you've actually said it in a complete sentence.
All right, now let's discuss the third part. So can you talk to each other? I'll be listening in, okay? Talk to each other and discuss
We
the
will
answer.
start an argument.
No problem. I'd love that.
I think in the first sentence, the answer will be
academic.
no. Abstract. In part two, the long term, however, the question part three are less based on your personal experience.
Generally, and are more general. Oh. General.
Will increase.
Increase.
You need to give your opinion. Make question and speculate. I think you should replace
What? Yes.
comparison with a question. Yeah, put it here. Comparison instead of question. If you don't understand a word,
Question.
a question, yeah.
No, question or a word and a question. No.
A question at first.
Question is
Yeah.
So do you want to change anything before I give you a score?
I'm guaranteed.
You good?
Okay.
Yeah. Your personal experience and are more generally and academic, Okay, based more. What about if you put this here?
Abstract as well, yeah.
Generally the topic and are more abstract and academic.
What does
So
it mean?
I was telling to him.
yeah, thank you. So
Your
abstract means
hobbies.
yeah. So abstract or things like you can't touch, you can't see. Like for example, you just talk generally. I mean, it's not like you, for example, your home, your city, your country. It's about something general, something abstract. For example,
Not about you.
not about you. It's like your like friendship, for example, sympathy, friendship, unemployment, things that you can just. These are just concepts. Okay, so abstract means that they're just concepts. They're not anything specific, anything solid, anything
Feeling.
concrete. Yeah, just feelings, yeah, or
Yeah.
things that you can just think about here. So let me see the marking for you. Do you want to change anything? Still, you have a chance to change if you like.
No.
Okay,
10
very
of
good.
10.
Yeah. Good job. Excellent. So all your answers were correct. Now you have a good understanding of all the examination. And since you have a good understanding of all the examination, so I'm going to give you some homework, some homework that is related to what we did today. And the homework is very simple. You just need to prepare a topic, speak about the topic for 2 minutes, and upload it to Padlet for 2 minutes speak.
I love speaking.
Yeah, I know you do. So that's why I'm giving you more speaking homework. So the topic I'm going to give you is this. I'm going to bring it up in a minute, and you will see the topic now in a second here. So,
Did you check our writing task?
yes, I had a
Yes.
look. It was a good attempt, but I still need to give you feedback on that. In fact, I don't want to check it for you. I just want to make sure that you understand the different task types, and I will give you, if you start giving you feedback from next week. This week is
Okay.
just an understanding what IELTS is, what this animal IELTS is. We just want to
Okay.
understand this, okay? So after we have understood everything about it, then we will cut it to pieces and eat it.
Okay.
But right now, we are just trying to understand everything about that. It's the introduction. So that's, yeah, that's, I think, everything I could tell you. And we are going to be looking at the different parts, and I'm going to give you feedback, but at the moment, it's just understanding. Because IELTS is a little different from English language. IELTS is not English language. It is a test. And I want to make sure that you understand everything about the test. So obviously, if you have the confidence and you understand everything about the test, you will be able to also do well on the test, and you will be able to score a good score, have a good score on the IELTS examination. So right after the test, after the examination today, the session today, I'm going to send you a topic. Please record yourself, speak about the topic, and upload it to Padlet with your name. And after you finish uploading it, write whatever you said, so I can look at the language and we can fix the language in the next session. Any
Okay.
questions so far about speaking today? Because today I just wanted to give you all the information about speaking, okay? And next sessions, we will also discuss reading, writing, and listening in detail. And then we'll start practicing mock exams, mock exams, mock exams, mock exams, and mock exams, and mock exams
Perfect.
until the examination, okay? So I want to finish the information, and then all the explanation, then want to practice, and practice till the examination. So any questions about speaking today?
All clear.
Okay, good.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, you're most welcome. So I'm going to send you the topic to WhatsApp group. Just speak about the topic, record it, and upload it to Padlet. If you need any help, just shout out in the WhatsApp group and I'll respond there instantly. Okay, enjoy your dinner and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Thank you.